Brum bum, brum bum.
You're listening to Talking Marvel. Team Venom, assemble.
Hi and welcome to episode 4 of Talking Marvel. I struggle to say 4 because this episode is about Thor.
Episode
not
Thor.
We could just call it episode Thor.
Yeah.
That'll be it. So, as usual, we're going to take 3 positives, 3 negatives, and give you an overall verdict on the film. On the side of the positives is my good self. On the side of the negatives is Mr. Impact himself, Connor Franks. So, yeah, I'll kick things off then. So, for the first positive, I'm going to go with Hemsworth's performance as Thor. Not so much the actual character or story or anything like that, but I thought he was great. Yeah. The way that he sold everything, his voice, for example, they went the total opposite way of, all the thous and thys and stuff that's in the Thor comics and stuff. They went a different way, but he still had his own distinct sort of take on things with his pronunciation of everything.
He still had enough Thorisms.
Yeah. And his comedy moments and stuff, he was brilliant in some of those things. Like, for example, smashing his beer glasses on the floor and being hit with a car repeatedly.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So, yeah, Chris Hemsworth as Thor. The casting choice, I'd say. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. Hemsworth as Thor is a great choice. As we see, through the other Thor movies and the Avenger movies. But building on that, I'm going to go on my negative, which is in the first movie there's little to none actual character building of Thor.
Yeah.
It's
not to say.
It's all good. It's very much a case of Thor is, like we said, with the funny moments, smashing the glass and everything, but as a whole, the character doesn't evolve through the movie.
Yeah.
He just gets angry and fights things.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. That's why my choice was Hemsworth's performance and not the story.
Yeah, definitely.
Next one for the positive then is the appearance of Hawkeye, in the sense of they're building to the Avengers. So by this point we know, right, we've got Iron Man, we know there's a Captain America film coming out, Black Widow's been in the Iron Man 2 film, and now Hawkeye's in here, so he's going to be part of the Avengers team. So that was cool that it was setting it up in that way and had Hawkeye as a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. So same way that Black Widow was, so that you had the inclusion of those 2 characters without them having to do a solo film for them first. Which is crazy for saying that we're now 10 years on and they're finally doing a Black Widow solo film, if it ever gets released.
When did this one come out?
This was 2010.
Jesus Christ. That makes me feel old as hell. Then again, when we talked about Iron Man, and that was what, 2008?
Yeah.
Yeah. Jeez.
So you're negative.
I mean, building on that is going to be Hawkeye appearing.
Yeah.
Because it's not the Hawkeye it should be. We've never got the Hawkeye that it should be.
Yeah.
My apologies if you hear the gunfire in the background. I'm recording this one from Syria.
Makes sense.
And then
you got a lot down somewhere.
Exactly. And then with now Hawkeye has been changed in the comics to look like the MCU adaptation.
Yeah.
And it's just not right. I suppose if you have never really been into the comics, it probably isn't a big deal, or you're probably not too fussed about it. But when you've grown up with Hawkeye wearing his purple get-up.
It's not just that. It's like my favorite version of the Avengers is the New Avengers run, when they brought Hawkeye back from the dead. Had him as Ronin for a while, and then after that he went back to being Hawkeye. But it was the classic purple costume, and when he was Ronin, it had its own sort of identity, which I'm assuming when we get around to Endgame, if I'm on the negatives for that, it's going to be the Ronin costume. So there was essentially
in that
a hood,
movie, man, for Ronin, and
then it was just sort of one scene.
Yep.
But yeah, so they did it repeatedly with our heartstrings for poor Clint Barton, who just got the shitty end of the shitty stick all the way through. The only time that his costume was remotely accurate, though, was Civil War, where they went, right, he's getting an all, because he had the all purple thing, he had one arm, the one arm sleeve and everything. So, which was how the Hawkeye costume was around about the time of Avengers Disassembled. However, it was missing the mask.
Yeah.
So,
but I feel like if you're not going to give Captain America, if you're going to give Captain America his mask is useless.
Yeah.
So why don't you get Hawkeye his?
That makes sense. So,
before we move on and worry about the costumes, I will say I'm thankful for one costume change.
What's that?
I'm very glad Thor never got his classic helmet.
He did though, didn't he? Briefly.
Yeah, but it wasn't in the same sense that
he like walks out and he's got it on his head. He's like, "Roar!" Shaking his hammer around, and then just takes it off, and then that's it.
Yeah. Your final positive, my friend.
Yes. I like that all of our positives and negatives sort of tie in, and this one will, because I know what your third negative is. I thought that the supporting cast of characters that they used for Thor were great. So the supporting cast of Loki, the Warriors 3, Lady Sif, and all the random Asgardians and stuff that you saw, like Heimdall. And then on Earth, you had Jane Foster and Darcy and Selvig. You know what I mean? So I think they really fleshed out his supporting cast and the supporting characters on the heroic side of things.
Yeah, I will say the casting of Hiddleston? Which one? It's one of them.
Yeah.
Which one? Tom Hiddleston?
Hiddleston.
Why
Yeah.
Who's Hiddleston? As a footballer. That's why it's in my mind. Okay, I'm not going crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hiddleston was an amazing shout to cast as Loki.
And he, ironically, he originally tried out for the part of Thor. There's a casting tape of that flying around on the internet, which is pretty awesome. But I think, Loki was definitely the right call for him.
Yeah. Well, since we're talking about cast, mine is having the Destroyer as the villain is dumb. Loki isn't the full villain in this movie.
No, he's the full villain in Avengers because of what happens to him in this movie more than anything.
Yeah,
But the Frost Giant stuff was cool, and all the little bits that tied in with it. But I know what you mean.
Just to have the Destroyer as the final battle, like they could have gone with.
They could have gone with a Frost Giant for a start. Could have had Laufey turn up or something, Loki's actual dad.
Yeah.
And decide that he's going to lay siege to Earth or whatever.
They could have gone with Carnilla.
Yeah. We could have had the Enchantress. We could have had the Executioner. Obviously, we had the Executioner in Ragnarok, but it was a different version. But there's all those sorts of options. There's Curse. There's the Scourge. You know what I mean? There's a fair few Thor villains out there. So yeah, I agree with you.
I'd have even accepted Mongoose.
Yeah.
But no, I think.
Yeah.
Do you know what I would love to see on the cinema though? I would love to see Juggernaut properly. I know we got him in Deadpool 2.
Yeah.
But I want to see like a proper Juggernaut.
Yeah, I mean the one in Deadpool 2 was wearing the big jumpsuit and stuff. And
no, I like the one in Deadpool 2 is awesome. Like especially when you want to compare it to fucking Vinnie Jones. But
yeah,
Vinnie Jones only did one good thing as Juggernaut, and that was the line.
Yeah. Which, no, I know what you mean. I would absolutely love to see a full-on Kane Marco going apeshit, and that'd be so cool.
But I think this is the thing with these sort of introduction movies that we're doing. There's not a whole lot of negatives for us to focus on.
No, especially when, a lot of these films had a lot of goodwill from me when I first watched them, and rightfully so, because they were building up to stuff. And it's still mental that we're on the other side of all that stuff now.
It really is.
We're 10 years deep into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Well, not even that. It's 12 now, isn't it? Yeah. 12 years on. And we've gone through all the big bads. We had the setup for Thanos back in 2012. That's all done and dusted, potentially. Did you like me turn a phrase there? It was good, wasn't it?
I like that. I like that.
Yeah, so let's wrap this one up then. I think we've probably gone shorter than usual.
Only just 9:20 right now, so we can.
Oh, okay, not too bad then.
Let's do a 30-second wrap up. We can push it to 10 minutes.
Yeah. So out of 10, what are you going for?
I'm gonna give this one a 7.
Okay. You know what? I'm gonna join you on that. 7 is fine. that's that. So
For those
yeah.
at home, do you have it on record of what we've rated all 4 of these so far?
I have, but I've not got it to hand. The lovely cop-out answer there.
Fired.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We'll do like a wrap up. I think what we should do is after each phase, we'll do a wrap up and we'll do our rankings
Okay, cool.
based on what we've come out with on this, and not our personal rankings, but the collective rankings.
Yeah. All right,
in case some of the averages drag things up and down. So
yeah, that's fine. Well, yeah, thanks for listening, guys, and we'll see you in the next episode of Talking Marvel. And as Rory said, he said the phrase, I'm going to repeat it. Just like Spider-Man, in this episode, we are done and dusted.
Indeed.